Oh, she, man. We back. So, this is Atlas Fallen. I've seen this game come out. I asked myself, am I really that interested in playing it? And I said to myself, don't know. So then we picked it up. Now, it's on Game Pass. And I said to myself, let's try it out. Maybe make a video on this game. There's a lot of games right now for me to make videos on. I still have yet to get out with the Arkham reviews that I've done. I have a lot of very good videos on that. And yes, of course, currently my algorithm is still dead on the main channel. I don't know why. So anyways, that's just, you know, another thing to piss me off. I really don't know what's going on there. I did way too many community posts and suddenly it's killed everything. Oh, hold on. This looks a little bit... What's going on with the brightness? Oh, the game's not very bright. Wow. Alright, let's do this. Yo, can we brighten this up just a tad, my friend? Let's just do that. Yeah. Alright, let's get into it. I'm interested to see what this game is exactly like. Continue? I already pressed a button. I refuse. I refuse. You can't do it to me. Fine. I don't want to look at your image.
The life source of our world sleeps in the sands. Essence. Prized treasure of the sun god Thelos. For eons, humanity has been slaved to their will.
Oh, she, man.
Mine essence until our
this
bodies
sun be
break
wild and I'm
fall.
sweating over here.
The lowest of us
They
are
be
denied
oppressing my
even
sweat
names.
glands or something. Ah, she, man. Where the
Every
white
day
women's
they
at?
cross
Come on, man.
devastated lands.
It's not okay. It's not okay.
Every day they die, killed by sand wraiths or the whips of their masters. Every day. And yet Thelos remains indifferent. This endless cycle will persist into eternity, unless someone were to rise from the storm.
A woman! A woman rises from the ashes.
Where?
It's a dude.
Am I?
Oh dear. Oh my.
Manacles.
This is homosexual.
I must escape towards the light.
Oh my gosh. There's lights. Oh dear. I don't know about this. Alright. Oh my. Oh my god. You messed with the wrong guy. The freaking wrong guy. The game's loud. Let's see if that's good right there. You messed up now, son.
A voice. Perhaps. Yes. A voice. Who? From where?
It's a bullet sponge. My favorite. What the hell? Oh! Oh my gosh! Yeah, what's up? God dang, I'm so good! Oh. Allow me to evade midair. Allow me.
Once again. That voice. Who are you?
Whoa.
Creatures. They will not let me leave this place.
Whoa.
I am being held here.
You're being held here? Jeez, man, look at...
Wait.
You're freaking demigod. What the?
Time. I return to where I began.
Bro, this is such a tone mismatch.
Cannot escape. Who are you?
Oh, love of God. Sorry. I looked at something that was deeply concerning. How sexy can the wait.
Knowledge for knowledge.
The world.
I can make
Will
a
change.
chick sound like a dude.
You
Stop.
raised me to see the world
Stop.
differently. To
Stop.
challenge what I knew.
Ew.
Following you here was never
Oh, the Cheetos hair. The Cheetos hair. Who does this? Who does this? Gosh. Golly, bro. Freaking Cheetos hair is so ugly. Make it stop. What the frick? Jeez, man. We are rough on freaking women in this world. What the frick? Why? Why? Oh my gosh. Oh my, I can't work with this. Oh my gosh. Screw you, ESG. Screw you.
Let us end this.
Oh my gosh. Another game where the men look better than the women. I'm going to look like Dracula. I can do women's hair? Stop. 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 Just make it stop. God, this is terrible. Oh my God. Dude, the options are horrible. What is this? I'm going Dracula mode. Engaged. I want to look like somebody that deserves to mate for the next generation, okay? The women in this game, they have no chance. It's over for them. It's over, Anakin. I will defeat the Sith now. Ugh. Ugh. This is terrible. Why? What is this? I'm trying so hard right now. I can't make it work. I'm barely gonna make, oh, what the frick? Oh, this is so bad, bruh. Make it stop. Oh my gosh. What am I working with? Stop. Make it Eurocentric. Make it Eurocentric. Oh my gosh. It's so bad. Frick, I can't even see the ears. Who cares? I am Dracula. Wow, that is actually the best anyone can do, is what I just did here. Wow. Wow. Nobody else can do exactly what I did. Man, this game sucks.
Her voice. Hey.
Oh no, a homosexual.
It's all right. I hear you. You're okay. Who? What? We set up camp. You're safe.
What is this game?
I'm alive.
This is not what I thought this
The
game
Wraiths
was.
attacked.
I'm so
We were
confused.
struck down. We managed to get you back here.
And the others?
The others are dead.
We recovered the bodies, but Reeve and Tracker are missing.
They are still out there, amongst the wraiths.
Yes, and perhaps alive.
Then we must go back out there. Look for them.
Impossible. The guards won't let us out of the camp.
I will speak to the captain. We all owe Tracker so much.
Indeed. She taught us hope. What chance do you have of finding her?
I have to try. Where is Morath?
In the upper camp. For Thelos' sake, be careful.
By Thelos, how many made it in the end?
Not even half. The guards left us unnamed to die. The sun darkened. In the middle of the day. Did Thelos do that?
Herder. Thank this.
Oh,
I don't care.
this blast. Why we change?
I really don't care.
Yes. You never told. Rumors are.
The Queen. I must go.
I will try.
So where is Morath?
Are you scheming something unnamed?
You
This
dare
game
speak
feels
to
like an
me,
MMO.
Unnamed.
Sir, I humbly request to leave the camp.
You wish to go out there after such a wraith attack?
There are two of our kind who might still be alive. One, known as Tracker, has been like a mother to me.
Ah, yes. I have heard talk of this Tracker. She inspires devotion amongst the unnamed.
That is true, sir.
I grant you permission. The guards will not stop you. It will be one less mouth to feed.
Can you take over for a second? Why would I? I've been standing here for more than an hour now.
I'll pass. Keep walking, scum.
The unnamed are unsettled. They dispute the new route. Talk amongst
The eclipse
themselves.
is still going
I must admit
on.
my
It's
own
both
doubts
beautiful
over the Queen's
and eerie.
orders. Why were we sent out here? Into the wilderness. My soldiers are exhausted, traumatized by the attack. No matter. I must remain resolute. One crack in my authority and we
Everyone
have
gets the
revolt.
same ration.
Revolution
Everything
is
tastes like
brewing,
sand anyway.
and I will be forced to cull the lot of them. Doing so will spell our doom. This caravan
Why should
cannot
I be
shed much
standing
more blood.
here? If Morath can just decide to leave us all behind. I can't believe.
Hey there, friend.
You obtained permission?
Yes. The captain expects me to die.
I pray to Thelos that Tracker and Reeve are still alive.
If anyone can survive out there, it is she.
With such danger. I will come with you.
No. You are needed here. The unnamed look to you for guidance.
You are rare among us, friend. Bravery I have not seen before. Take this armor. I have patched it up. It will be useful to you. Take care now. May Thelos guide you.
Lost your courage, unnamed?
Up there. Reeve. And something else. Not a wraith. Please.
Join with me.
That voice. From my dream.
I sense you are close. Come closer.
I feel I must.
No! What? Yes, it happens again. I can feel, see.
Who are you? Where are you?
I do not know.
Wraith! Oh, no.
Be calm. I can help you. Use my strength. Do not be afraid. Use the gauntlet. At last, my voice is heard.
What are you? Who are you?
I am Nile. Nile is my name.
You are this gauntlet.
Yes. No. The gauntlet reveals me to you. What is your name?
I am unnamed. I'm here. Out here. Looking for someone.
I can sense life nearby. Up that cliff.
Wait. There on the ground. What is it? This belonged to Tracker. She must have come this way.
I sense danger. Wraiths approach.
I am not capable.
Do not worry. I will help you wield the gauntlet. The gauntlet draws the sand. Feel it around you. Feel the momentum rising.
Oh man, the pacing, like where we come from, how we move through the level, then we get here, then we get the gauntlet out of nowhere, which is supposed to be a big deal. I mean, it's like Frodo coming into contact with the ring. But the way it's treated is too fast. We need to ebb into it before we flow. And right now we're trying to flow into all the combat and into the power of the gauntlet or whatever it is. It's just too fast. So, you know, I get what they're trying to do, but it's not. I always ask this now, like, do modern developers, are they trying to make good games? Or, sorry, I mean, yeah, that's a question to ask with other games, but no, better question for games like this. And what was the last one I was asking this with Black Myth Wukong. Are developers trying to make good stories, or are they just trying to make a story that sticks well enough that you can play through it? I don't know, man. There's so many things that's not working here. You know, you gotta pay attention to every detail. You have to understand every step you're taking in a story if you really want to deliver it. Genuine question, how are these projects, whichever one, how are these being made? I just think about all the funding and how much work goes into these narratives that are made, and it just feels like another one of those. You know, it doesn't feel like someone really has ideas. It's like I saw Lord of the Rings and I wanted to make my own little twist and flair on it, and it feels a twist and flair on it that feels a lot like other games. You know, there's so many games that feel like this. And it feels like the premise of the idea is something from Tolkien with the main trilogy. And then it's like they just saw a bunch of other games that have a very similar storyline to this. And now here we are. I mean, it's like Forspoken. It's not Forspoken, but it's like, and I'm not saying this is inspired by Forspoken, but it's along the same vein. Like, there's a common idea to a game like Forspoken that's being found here. Flintlock, that's another example. So, it's so clear. What's the idea here, man? Like, when you start a great story always tries to immerse you and obsess over something that most people don't care about. Or maybe it's not that most people care about it. Maybe it's that most people don't think about it. Or it's something that makes some amount of people uncomfortable. Or I'm thinking right now to like Witcher, the first book, how it opens with a bunch of people. I think they're in a bathhouse or something like that. I forget. So some kind of no, I don't think it's a bathhouse. It's I think it's a bazaar where a bunch of people from different kingdoms, different cultures, it's supposed to be an embassy of sorts, like a trading embassy as I understand it. And it's where a lot of wealthy merchants and a lot of politicians, that's where they meet up to speak to one another. And it's one of the only places in the entire world of The Witcher where people will sit down and they're able to talk to each other without having any kind of actual war or assassinations necessarily go on there, right? So that's where the story starts, and it starts with a guy talking about race relations in the world. Oh, it's raining. Wow. In the world of Witcher, he's talking about race relations between the dwarves and the elves, and it's like, oh, all these people care about it, but for people like me, I think I remember this, the guy that's supposed to be super powerful, he's like, for people like me who have all this money and this power, I don't care about race and I just do what I want, right? That's roughly the idea that we get with Witcher 3. But like Tolkien with Lord of the Rings, he starts it with the Shire, and it's very slow. You're just in the Shire, you're introduced to the hobbits, it's slow, nothing's really going on, and then Gandalf is talking to Bilbo, later he talks to Frodo gets the ring. They talk about what's going on in the matters of Mordor, how there's this great evil, this foreboding evil that's drenching across the lands, and then eventually there's this dread that falls onto Frodo that I have to go bring this ring or do something with it. I have to bring it to the elves, or I have to bring it to somebody that can deal with this, because the end of Middle Earth is coming if I don't do anything about this, because Sauron is ultimately going to find this. And then, then in the first book, they just spend forever walking and talking, and specifically, going through I think it's the marsh or the woods, where they have one of their first encounters with one of the Night Riders, right? So it starts off very slow. It doesn't start off with action. It doesn't start off with the ring necessarily. I mean, right? It starts with the birthday of Bilbo, some dude's birthday. It's something that's kind of mundane. It's something like, why should I care? And that's what it is. I mean, even race relations in Witcher, the first book, it's starting with that is more of something that, let's say, most people want to avoid that conversation. It's uncomfortable. Okay, well, let's start a book about that. But and I don't know how Game of Thrones starts, because I read some of the beginning. I forget it now, honestly. I barely remember much. As I remember, it talks about Ned Stark, or whatever the frick his name is, and his family, right? His brothers and his sisters, and their names and the naming conventions that went behind all of them. I think it also describes that. I think that's what I remember. But it's this information that's you would think it's why are we talking about this? There's somewhere in the back of your mind, even if there's a good reason to talk about this, given context or just given in general, this is something that's not the usual. This is not something safe to talk about necessarily. It's oh, you talk about that and you're boring, right? Talking about some dude's birthday, a hobbit, and then talking about calendar years, right? Like in Tolkien's work with the first book, because then it goes into, the calendar year. He doesn't explain it as much there as he does in the Silmarillion, which I'm reading right now. But I mean, you think about the Thrawn trilogy was not good. Okay, just screw that. But the way it does start, it starts in a way that was roughly good. I mean, I like the first book the most. And it starts with the TIE fighter formation, the Marg Sabal, or whatever it's called, by Thrawn. And he's just explaining to Pelion how it's this is a proper Marg Sabal and blah, blah, blah. He's explaining a proper formation. And then he's talking about art and other cultures, and how through that formation, it helps you understand how to counter fighters from these other civilizations, because the art expresses how they think. Now, of course, Zahn, he doesn't go into detail what this actually means. He doesn't go into the nitty-gritty. It's just a concept, which it's a silly little idea that honestly, it's like, you need to prove it. He doesn't prove it in his writing. He just says it, and you think to yourself, oh yeah, looking at other cultures and their artwork will help me understand how to fight them better or in some way interact with them in a way that is advantageous to me. Have you looked at artwork from other cultures, architecture? Please explain to me how looking at what look at Byzantine architecture and explain to me how they think and how you can go to war with a Byzantine based on their architecture. What, they like flat surfaces and they seem to like triangles, or okay, so there's kind of like this maybe grid-like way of thinking, so maybe they're very orderly. I don't know, but no one explains. And it's like, I want to know, how do we actually justify this way of thinking? We don't do that. But anyways, Thrawn trilogy, not a big fan, but regardless, he does do something though, Timothy Zahn, with the Thrawn trilogy, the first book. He does do something that I think a lot of good stories roughly do, which is talk about something that no one really thinks of talking about. Talk about something that's maybe a little bit uncomfortable, even if it's not supposed to be. It's just like, for some random reason, maybe right now it is, right? Even if it's for like the current climate of like 4 years politically in your society, whatever it is, you know, like Dracula, oh shoot, how does that specifically start? It's I forget the name of the dude, but it starts with the dude, he's going through somewhere in Europe, I forget where right now. It's been a while. Wow, I need to finish that book, but it's been a while since I picked it up. But he's going through, he's looking at the fellow townspeople as he's going to get on a train soon, and then on the train, a woman that's concerned. A lot of people look at him concerned because they know where he's going, Dracula's manor. And a woman gives him a necklace, I think of garlic, and she gives him some other things, I think a crucifix as well, right? And she's weeping, and she said, and you know, it starts with him questioning, like, why are these people looking at me? Why are they concerned for me? And like, you could otherwise just be bored by this, honestly. It's like, okay, a guy is just walking around in public around a bunch of other people of his race, of his culture, okay, but they're kind of a little bit aloof towards him, and you know, he's kind of out of country a little bit, but you know, he's roughly of the same type of these people. But it's like, okay, it kind of seems mundane. What's exactly it's like another day, but just like people are just not really treating you like they treat each other. Okay. And, you know, it further alleviates the fact that they're kind of mourning where he's going, that he's basically going to get himself killed going to the manor. But it's like, a story, great stories always start, Witcher 3 starts off slow. Jeez, I mean, Skyrim doesn't really have a good story, but everyone remembers the beginning. It starts with you in a freaking wagon. You're freaking, right, you're arrested. You're about to be executed publicly. A guy's like, oh, you just woke up, huh? And that's freaking iconic now. Everyone knows that, remembers it, right? Even some of the Fallout, like Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 specifically, the way that those games start, it's slow. Everything that always has value, that has substance, it starts slow. And there's always some kind of information that's obsessed over for some weird reason. You know, Arkham Asylum starts off slow. Batman, right? Joker's locked up on the prison table, whatever, that they're transporting him on. They're going into Arkham Prison or Arkham Asylum. And it starts off slow with Joker just talking to the cops and talking to Batman. And, you know, he's laughing and all that stuff, right? It starts off slow in that way where it's like, it's just taking its time. It's getting you, it's buckle in. Every time a story approaches you with just buckle in, right? Sit down, buckle in. It's always the starting precipice of a great story. Now, of course, bad storytellers, they're just going to bore you when they do that. So it's always an intelligent man writing a story that makes it great when you're ebbing into it, right? When you want to make a cheap story, you make a game like this, okay? And then that's why I say this. There's so many stories, so many games exactly like this, where we're starting off with, you're at the heat of combat, you're at the heat of your power, right? It's like, these are all your powers that you're gonna get later in the game. I hate that. That cheapens your game. I don't care about my powers later in the game. I want to know what powers I have now, and how am I going to develop into more of my abilities. That's way better to do with your game. It's so it just shows that you have a cheap product whenever you're given a teaser of yourself at your height, right? Your height of power. And like, it's the same thing with freaking books. You know, you have these cheap books, cheap narratives that everyone forgets about. It always starts where? It always starts, oh my gosh, I'm injured. Oh my gosh, we're driving in a car. Oh my gosh, you know, we're crashing and we're swerving in the streets. And it's like, oh, what's going on here? Oh my, right? You're starting at the climax. Whenever you start at the climax, whenever you start a story at the height of value, it's too much, too soon, too fast. And not only that, but it's like, it just shows that it's the story or the product, whatever it is a hooker. That's all it is. You're buying the maximum of the value up front. You're getting all that you want up front. I mean, okay, I mean, it's different with a hooker, whatever. You know, I mean, it's different there. You want to get what you want up front. But the point is that there's no work up into it. There's no building of tension, building of value, getting into what you want, right? I don't want to be gay when I say this. And this is something that, you know, I know what I mean when I say this. It's now been lost onto us because now you have so many cucks and simps, a bunch of dudes who are freaking losers, and they sit there and they'll just hear these kinds of things now, and they get the completely wrong idea. But you know, it's like the idea of courtship, proper courtship, or you know, some element of that idea, you know, like romancing a woman before having sex with her. That kind of building of tension between yourself and someone that you want to, a chick that's desirable to you, that you want to get with, it's way more rewarding that you get that slow build up and that you're kind of building that romance, right? First, you're having a dinner with each other at a banquet, and then, you know, you're watching the stars and you're playing her the lute or something like that, right? And then you play a little silly game for like 20 minutes after, and then somehow she falls into your arms, and then you kiss her, and then you bang, okay? Stuff like that. Like, that's way more rewarding than just purchasing a hooker. Let's just face it, honestly. It's a far more noble way of going about things. Very Eurocentric. It's a far nobler way of going about things, and in the end, it's far more rewarding. Well, and you know, again, I don't mean to get gay with it, because nowadays, like, women, and you have these cuck simps, they expect to be courted forever, right? It's like past a day, past a week, past any amount of time that's normal, and it's like they just want to be courted into perpetuity. And the freaking cocks, you got these freaking cocks out here who are like, oh, I just gotta wait it out, I just gotta wait, she's just holding out for me or something, whatever, like if I just wear her down, whatever it is, okay? They just make up poor excuses for how a woman is some freaking floozy is freaking using them, okay? That's what it is. All right, I'm talking about, right, the best kind of romance is you meet a chick, day one, you set up plans, and then in 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, or in a week, you go to this banquet or some kind of dance or something, you go to some kind of nice event, okay? And then you have, you know, you do this thing, then you sit with each other, you know, watching the stars, talking, and she's sharing with you, oh, this is my father, and this is what he does, and these are my brothers, and this is that, and you're learning about her, and then you're sharing with her, oh, you know, I had this upbringing, and it was rough here, but it was nice there, and then, oh, there's this silly thing that's really embarrassing, right? You're having this kind of really heart-to-heart, this really deep interpersonal connection, this romance, right? Proper romance, not freaking gay romance, romance where the guy's getting cucked. He's a freaking simp. He's a freaking pathetic beta freaking loser. No, it's just a nice little build up, and then you bang each other in the end of that night, right? That is proper, and that is like, and this is what we're talking about, is that, you know, oh my god, it's so gay now. Because we have we have destroyed so much now in modernity. We've cheapened everything. We don't understand how to prance and how to dance around anything. We don't understand delicacy anymore. We don't understand it. We don't understand candor. We don't understand sophistication. We've lost these things drastically now. But, you know, you've got to wine and dine. And I know what I mean when I say that. And what I mean when I say that is very direct on what it is. Right? Sadly, when I say that now, in modern perspective, in modern view, that is completely contorted. So when I say that, I know that very directly what I just said means exactly what it means by what I mean by it. But now the zeitgeist of today completely misunderstands that. So most people, they'll just get carried away with it. That's the issue. And that's what kills me saying these things, is that we have a heavy misunderstanding of so much that used to be very understandable. So again, though, you want a sense of wine and dine, or you want a sense of just easing into the world and into what's being created. Now, I will say, of course, you have something like Star Wars, and it starts off with a fight in a hallway, a shootout in a hallway, which you never see that though in a story, and it quickly goes into slow, right? It quickly paces into slow. Well, actually, it didn't start out like that, by the way, of course. Lucas, he edited it down very extensively to get to that point. And yeah, as I remember, it started on Tatooine, right? And he had this like random friend that he knew, and it took like, I think a 40 minutes or an hour to finally get to the shootout, and then they just started it there, which, you know, okay, it's fine, it works, because then it quickly goes back into, okay, Darth Vader walks. I mean, it is, see, a lot of people, they do it in a cheap way. Lucas did it well, and very few people do it well, but like, regardless, when they re-edited the beginning of that story, they did it well, okay? Because that substance, you're like, oh wow, they're in this like weird kind of hallway, very pristine. Yeah, I mean, that's what's weird. They're in a pristine hallway, looks a little bit futuristic, doesn't look like what we see every day. You have these two sides, very distinguished, shooting at each other in the hallway. Okay, we've never seen that before exactly. A shootout in a film in a hallway, and really that doesn't happen in a lot of films, really. So, okay, it's an interesting idea. And then you have this guy, Darth Vader, he walks in a little bit after. So, and then, you know, you're introduced to Leia, and it's just interesting, and the way it flows, right? Maybe it doesn't ease into it, it doesn't, but later it does ease, but it's like it has substance, and there's something fascinating about it. I mean, you don't think of a hallway being a good way of starting a story, right? Oh, we're just going to do something in a hallway. What? But they're having a shootout in a pristine hallway. Actually, it starts with the slow crawl of, right, the Imperial frigate in space. You're seeing it pan across the top of the screen, right? I think. And it's shooting at Leia's transport vessel, right? It's been a while since I've seen it. So okay, it doesn't I don't think it exactly starts there, but it quickly goes into that. So regardless, there's a flow to the easing into it, and yeah, that's what I remember. Yeah. Okay, so anyways, so it does kind of ease into it and then quickly goes into action. I mean, still, is that a great way to start a story? a hallway? No, but it's like you have a decent context of what it is, and it's interesting, and there's substance there. So it's like what we're talking about when we're looking at storytelling, and when we're looking at these narratives that are woven, you know, so many modern stories. You have these people, they're in a hurry to do it. See, this is the issue. They don't have any substance of what they're expressing or what they have to share and what they have to tell. So then we're just rushing into it like we are here. Oh, we suddenly got the gauntlet, or we start with I'm a weird furry and I have all this power, and like, you know, it's too much. It's too much at the front. I don't care. I don't know what this is. I don't know what's, you know, the only way you could make this work is that it's like you're fighting the gods, right? You're running up the steps. Let's say you're Kratos or something. You're running up the steps of Olympus, and you know you literally at the start of the story. You typically want to do something slow though before you exactly get into this. So like, let's say that actually the slow part is, let's say there's a slow pan out from a stump, right? And the ground is cloudy. And it's clear that we're somewhere very unique. Okay, it's cloudy and there's a tree stump inside of a cloud. Okay, the camera continues to pan out, and then you're looking at an axe that is cleaved into that tree stump, and you're like, oh, interesting. An axe sitting inside of that tree stump, right? Like it just recently got thrown into it or something. Obviously it's dug in, so it's like, okay, so who left it there? And then okay, and of course there's the clouds, and you're like, well, that's interesting. There's a tree stump in the clouds, right? And the camera continues to pan out until you see the handle, and then that's when you see the hand of Kratos. Let's say it's Kratos, right? God of War story, let's just say, or some, or it could be like a Hercules story, some kind of Greek story, and it's a hand of a, you know, burly man. He grabs it, yanks it out of the tree stump, and then he throws that freaking axe into the face of like a guy with the shoes of Hermes. You can clearly see it's Hermes. He got freaking axed in the head, and then he's dead. And in some way, it's intelligible to know that this is a god of this story, which is most likely Greek. Okay, and then he's running up the steps of Olympus, and then once he's at the top, you know, and you can, the cinematography, it's easy to do all that, the pacing of it, not make it too fast, too slow. And then he gets to the top of the stairs. We're going up to the temple of Mount Olympus or whatever. And then there's Zeus. He's sitting in a seat, right? A giant marble seat, just staring at whoever the guy is coming after him. And sitting right next to Zeus is, let's say, some hot chick who's like basically his new freaking his new hoe, whoever she is. She's hot. She has like awesome cleavage, whatever. You know, it's a sexy chick with her boobs somewhat just on display in some way with cleavage or whatever, right? She's just a sexy Greek chick, all right? So you can think like it's this chick or that chick from Greek mythology. All right. And then of course, Zeus, he slowly he looks at the warrior looks at him, whoever it is, if it's Achilles, if it's Hercules, whoever, or of course Kratos, if we want to make it a Kratos scenario. And he slowly gets up from his seat, and then he summons from the sky a lightning bolt, and just think of that slow pacing, and then they fight. Okay, I'm speeding up the idea. There's other ways that other articulations here, but anyways, that's just think of a story starting that way. That's cool. It starts off slow, but then sudden contact of conflict. Obviously, the main character, he wins that sudden conflict of contact, and then he's running up the steps. Okay, we're kind of easing back down. When it's no longer high intensity, high tension combat, and then it's Zeus, right? It's like that entire wavelength of ups and downs, highs and lows. That's an interesting beginning, starting to a story, okay? And then there's a lot of ways that we can go about that to even make it further more interesting. The hero dies, he's defeated, or something like that. And then you know, his body is plummeting from the clouds, right? Zeus casts him down with a freaking lightning bolt. The guy's literally freaking pierced by a lightning bolt, and you can see the wound, and you can see how like the electricity is charring the skin around the piercing point, so you can see the damage on his torso as he's falling through the atmosphere back down to earth or something like that, from the heavens, wherever it is. And then he literally breaks through the earth into hell. And then you see like a pit of souls, right, going down in a cyclone into hell, and he's just going down like a freaking comet. That is cool right there. That is a great start of a story. And now there's ways to screw this up, by the way. And I can think of a lot of freaking modern day writers who would screw this effing up. What I just detailed here, this is a great way to start a story. This is so cool, so awesome. I want to freaking pay for this already. Me talking about this, love of God. But then he ends up plummeting into some kind of lake within hell, right? And you know, you could do one of two things. It creates a giant rupture, and the freaking waves just explode, right? Because it's right, he's basically a comet plunging into hell, and the water just roars up. That's a cool image. That's cool. And then as this is happening, the camera pans out, and you can see the back of a head of a guy in a rowboat, seeing this warrior who just got defeated by Zeus. Okay, right? Again, good pacing, good exchange of information. But also another way that could be interesting is that as he's plummeting down and then he contacts into the water, instead of it rupturing up, could be that, right? It's hell, water's different here, and instead he just literally sinks into it. There's no splashes, nothing. He just absorbs. It's like oil, right? It's like oil, it's like it absorbs him, and instead of any splashing occurring. So it's basically like the water itself is dead. Okay, that's interesting. And still, the back of the head of a man in a rowboat is just looking at the direction of this guy who literally a humongous lightning bolt pierced his freaking torso, and his chest is just ruptured with electricity, charred flesh, and then he just gets into the lake. Then, of course, again. So ebbing and flowing here, because we're in fast. When he's plummeting down, that's fast energy of a story. Okay, but now he's plummeted. He's landed inside of a lake within hell. Then we see the oar of the man in the boat, and slowly, right, slowly brisking through this dead water, right? And maybe he's hymning to himself a song. Okay, that's interesting. And it's got to be some kind of like just an interesting song, kind of slightly woeful, but slightly just somber, kind of like this weird kind of serene, sorrowful song. It's like it's odd. I'm kind of thinking like a weird kind of like pirate hymn, right? To think something like that. Okay, and whatever it is, it's just this kind of really somber but serene but also sorrowful at the same time. Okay, good. So we're going slow. He's obviously rowing up to the place of where this hero just got freaking annihilated. And then I'm thinking about the lightning bolt. Yeah, the lightning bolt, right? Once it hits the, you know what? As the guy is, that could be a cool visual, that when he's plummeting through hell and then he's about to contact the water, let's say that as he contacts the water, his body gets absorbed. There's a way to show this very quickly on screen. His body gets absorbed by the waters, that it doesn't splash up or anything. It's like oil. It absorbs his body, but then the tip of that lightning, as it hits hell, it just evaporates, but it evaporates like an explosion of electricity. And it's just, right, it's like, it's zapping out of, it's like dematerializing, but it's explosively dematerializing. It's like a nullification of the lightning, that water. And that would be cool. And it's like, right, this is kind of like in a hell kind of chamber. So it's slightly rocky, slightly not. It's like this really ethereal kind of environment, but it's not too crazy, you know. It's kind of like down to earth, but still, it's just this very kind of, again, just it's kind of, it's semi underground, it's semi just dark shadows, so it's kind of ethereal. You don't know where you're really at, and then there's some marble architecture, kind of Greek like, right? So that's the kind of environment that we're in. It's dark. So then it's like a fireworks show when this lightning hits that water, and you see that you see the dematerializing lightning bolts just sparking out of control as the hero's body is then plunging slowly inside the water, right? And then it's as this guy, right, and again, you can still mix in the back of the head of the guy in the rowboat, and then him slowly rowing up, because of course, obviously, then the lightning bolt that is dematerializing happens largely quickly, right? But it's a cool spectacle for 2 seconds on screen. Then, next part that happens, what happens is this guy who's in the rowboat, he peers in too, and the camera, again, you don't see this guy, but the camera is peering into the water, and you see a lot of bodies inside the water, but not floating to the top. It's actually floating somewhat like beneath the top. So it's like, right, there's this, so on the surface, it looks like there's nothing underneath, but then you see a bunch of bodies underneath, and it's just, so it's like they're trapped midway inside the lake, right? The guy in the rowboat, he reaches in slowly into the water. He grabs onto the hand of the dead hero who's still obviously wounded from the lightning bolt puncture, and then he lifts him out. And obviously, right, this warrior, he has armor on, he's a beefy guy, but it's like he's lifelessly, even though he looks heavy, he is lifelessly just pulled out of the water and slung onto the boat, you know, slowly and rather gracefully. And this guy happens to be Charon, right? The ferryman of hell. And right there, and like, again, just go slow with this. You see this guy's face. It's an old dude, some kind of Greek looking old dude, obviously black, right? No, some old Greek white guy, and he looks for 2 seconds at the dead face and body of this hero, whoever it is, Achilles, Hercules, Kratos, whatever story we've made here, I don't know. He looks at this guy's face. This guy is seemingly dead right in front of him, and he slowly grabs his oar, looking at the dead hero or whoever, and then he begins slowly rowing again, right? And then now the camera's panning, and you're just looking, as it slow pans around, you're looking at hell, and you're seeing, like, from the this cycloning sky of all these bodies coming down, you see them slowly plunging into the lake, right? And let's say, and like this is a part of the let's say it's a movie or a game, it doesn't matter, of this cinematic moment here. You're just looking around, you're just taking in hell. The camera from time to time is slowly panning to his face, right? And he's just looking around, mute expression on his face. He's looking around within this lake of hell. It's clear looking at his face. He doesn't think anything of it. It's just another day, but it's like, it's clear there's something else on his mind, right? That kind of, I guess, what do you call it? Is that the 1,000-yard stare or whatever? Like what they mentioned with the Doctor in Doctor Who. That's something that was really important. I'm gonna guess that's what they mean when they say it. So anyways, that's the kind of stare you want, that kind of mindless but thoughtful stare with whoever is playing as Charon. And then once the boat slowly rides up to a docking point, this Charon, he gets up and he slowly bends over, reaches down for the wrist of the dead hero. He turns the palm over, he opens the palm, and he places in a coin. And then that suddenly but slowly, the hero just wakes up, right? His eyes slowly wake up. He looks around slowly around his surroundings, and then he looks at Charon, and then of course right there, he can ask him, where are we? Or something of that matter, something, right? Something that matches the tone of this scene, which it could just be, where are we? Or who are you? Something like that. You think of that entire pacing right there. There's a mixture of fast and slow. Then we go throughout the development of this narrative. You're going from slow, fast into the slow, and you're just building into it. You're building that intrigue as you're into this story. And there's just so much that then after this, again, like a bad writer, they can screw up this kind of good beginning to a story. Or great beginning. I mean, overwhelmingly, it's a great beginning. But there's so many freaking writers that can just screw this up and then just lose the pacing, lose the momentum, lose the intrigue. So many things you can do to just screw it up from here. But again, there's so many things that you could do right after this. Because then you can have like a figurative Virgo to Dante kind of continuation where, yeah, okay, so the hero slowly wakes up, looks at Charon, he's like, where are we? Charon just looks at him in the eyes, slowly closes his eyes as he does a slow head nod towards the hero, and then he slowly steps off the boat, right, onto the dock, the marble docking in hell. And then they just start walking, right? They start walking amongst the dead. And it's all these kind of like haggard looking people, whatever. Some people maybe not so haggard looking, but obviously everyone's in hell. And they just walk. And the hero's just following Charon, right? Looking around at all these dead people. And then eventually maybe they meet up with a guy that is the second-hand man to Hades or something. But eventually, right, it develops to the hero talking to Hades. It was like, this entire pacing that we're talking about, this is something we don't see in modern stories. Yeah, at this point I should be freaking hired for these freaking stories in these games. Love of God, it's not that hard. It's, well, you know, clearly for some people it's hard, but frick, I would buy that freaking game. I want to see that story already. And I could just keep on going with this. Okay? Frick. This is what I mean when I'm talking about we're in this game and I just don't care. I don't care about what Caladrius is. I don't care what the Tithe Caravan is. I don't care about anything here. Get me buckled in to a story that's just, my mind is running with intrigue and I want to know where we are. Where are we? Oh, we're in hell. Oh, okay. Okay, who's that guy? Oh, it's Charon. You're not going to know immediately unless you already know something about Greek mythology. Then you can assume onto yourself, this might be Charon, right? But it's like, don't say who's who, or maybe the only person you know who's who is Zeus or something like that. There's so many ways that you can just have a great story. And there's so many ways that, but it has to be that there's this slow buildup. And we are not doing that. Well, or a slow or proper build-up with substance. And, you know, I think of the animated Hercules movie. That was so well done. Oh my god, it's like, so what doesn't it start with the art the art on the vases, right, telling the story of Hercules. Oh my gosh, that's such a good movie, man. But like, as I remember, the way it starts is rather slow before it picks up the pace, but it starts with all these kind of people talking, just talking about the worlds of Greece or whatever, in the story that you're getting wrapped into. We used to hire the right people. There used to be a reason to sit down and engage with a story. Stories used to be so cool. I mean, despite that some of them had their, their woke elements, because isn't the hot chick in the Hercules animated movie, isn't she supposed to be a chick that at first she tries to play tough and be like, oh, I don't need no man, although she clearly, right, she's what isn't she trapped, or she's fighting a minotaur or something like that, or a centaur when Hercules shows up, and she tries to play hard to get, and then she kind of softens up. I don't remember her being that feminist though. I think she softens up, and then she's like, it's clear that she needs a man. So okay, fine, okay, I'm not gonna criticize it. I like it. I love that movie, bro. Overwhelmingly, it's just, there was a time where we had good storytelling, and we don't have that anymore. It's just not interesting. But honestly, it's whenever the main substance of a story is action, that's where you have real issues. When a story starts off with combat, or like, oh my gosh, we gotta hurry. Whenever the start of a story is in any way frantic when it starts, like truly frantic, and I'm thinking of a story like The First Descendant, it kind of starts out not too frantic, but it seems a little bit frantic. It feels frantic. It's like, or maybe the right word is directionless. There's something about a lot of stories, they just drop the ball. And like, it's crazy to me because you have the person who made the trailer for The First Descendant. They did such a great job, but outside of that, man, you see so much dropping of the ball. So I am already more interested in what I just came up with in my own mind than whatever the frick we're experiencing here. I don't like this. There's a lot of mis-executions here. I'm not caught up in the world. I don't care about the characters. I don't care about the name of where we're at. The image of a story has to matter more than the words, than the names. I care about Hades. I care about Hell. I care about Mount Olympus. If the characters and the visuals of the story is cool. Literally, Zeus just freaking piercing, let's just say, Kratos in the chest with the lightning bolts. Kratos has an enormous freaking wound in his freaking chest, and he plummets through in a visually appealing way through the clouds. Then he's going through the atmosphere. Then he freaking just shatters right through the freaking earth. And then he's going down this, this cyclone kind of whirlpool, but it's like an air-like whirlpool and of these bodies slowly going down into hell, and he's just going down the middle of it as the lightning bolt is sparkling down into this this hole of hell, and then the plunging into the ocean. I mean, all that right there, the visual of all of that is so enticing. It's like, because it's so cool, because it has so much value, just seeing what it is on screen in that moment, you're like, I want to know where we're at. This is cool. I want to know the location. You don't want to know a chick's name if she's ugly. If you see an ugly chick, you're just like, Okay. You see a hot chick, you're like, what's her name? You know, when you see a freaking scrawny freaking looking loser dude who looks like a freaking no life, you don't want to know his name. When you see like a strong man who looks like he works very hard on his body, or you see a very esteemed man, you look at him and you're like, what's his name? When you see something that has value, you want to know what it is. When we look at these modern stories, where's the value? Why do I care about the main character? I don't. This is why I have such a big issue. You have these freaking clowns, these freaking queers. They sit there and they're like, oh my God, it's so important that we, you know, I can make, they always try to make a freaking woke light argument, you know, because it's like, oh, this king doesn't have any representation. They're like, oh, well, why don't you just allow me to make my own character in the game? It's someone that's afraid to just say that the character that we were given for a story sucks, right? It's like, okay, for instance, like just random example, let's say, okay, no one likes Frey Holland from Forspoken. Oh, well, clearly there's no issue with a character like Frey Holland being in a video game, especially a European video game. Oh no, I just, why are we not allowed to make our own characters? This makes no sense. You freaking clown. No, we want to see someone that's relevant on screen. Someone that it makes you ask the question. You see the person and you're like, I want to know. That's what you want in a story. You have to have such a powerful image that you have to ask the question of what is it? That is what you must have. And that's why I hate these freaking people. They sit there and they're like, just let me make my own character. No. Making your own character does not make a world or a story interesting. When I see Arthur Morgan in Red Dead Redemption 2, and I see the environment, and I see the situation, the scenario that he and his group are in, right? Him, Dutch, and everybody else, they're little, what were they called? Aren't they called bandits or whatever? Anyway. When you see them in their situation, you're asking to yourself, who are these people? Where are they going? Where are we right now? Because it's interesting, because Arthur Morgan looks like a guy that you want to follow his story. You're interested in what's happening to Arthur Morgan. That is not the same case when we look at a lot of modern stories today. You're always thrown into the middle of a story that really has no meaning, and you don't care about the characters. You don't want to know their names. You're not interested in what's going on. You're just like, you know, I could really just not be here right now, and I would have a much better time. Oh my gosh, hold up. It's just not enticing. I mean, there's so many things I can think, you know, there's so many stories I can think of that would be so much more engaging than this. Whoa.
Keep up the momentum, and the energy released by the gauntlet will grow. Be careful, though. Momentum is a double-edged sword. The more energy you harness, the stronger the race will become.
The issue with this combat, by the way, is that the enemies are freaking bullet sponges, and the attack pattern is way too redundant to make it really feel rewarding to use the attacks. I'm doing the same attack over and over. I'm just beating into a bullet sponge. I'm not that interested by this. You know, at least in Monster Hunter, you have a moveset that's largely interesting, largely unique. And to access certain ways of combat, you have to understand the moveset. Okay, that's cool. a little bit annoying, especially if you haven't picked up a Monster Hunter game in a couple of months like me. Man, I tried to pick up freaking Monster Hunter Rise. I finished the whole game and I could not for the life of me play that game. I mean, I didn't even remember the freaking moveset to any of my weapons. I was like, and you know, I've played Monster Hunter Worlds, and it's just like, wow, you know, it's such a it's such an intricate game that it's a little bit tedious to get back into it once you stop playing. But and also, at least the monsters in Monster Hunter World or Monster Hunter Rise, they have unique attack animations and behaviors specifically made for a unique fight with the player. We don't get that here. I'm just wailing into an enemy that is just meant to swipe at me, and I'm just meant to spam some kind of button at the enemy. Man, it just doesn't do it for me.
It is an idol. You can use an idol to heal your wounds. Thank you for trusting me. I have been held here for so long.
I do not trust you yet, whoever you are. But if you help me find my friends, that would be a start. I saw someone earlier, up there. Perhaps who I'm looking for.
I can help you climb. Let me show you.
I feel like I'm floating.
Careful.
Bro, we already just went through this. We literally, I've already double jumped earlier, but why am I getting a tutorial for this? How retarded are people, bro? Are they really that dumb? Like, you don't know how to double jump. How did you make it through the tutorial? How did you fight those enemies? How did you do anything if you don't know how to double jump? Really? Oh, jeez. Jeez. What are we doing?
Careful, Gauntlet Bearer. There are still wraiths around.
That's where I saw a survivor. Perhaps Reeve.
You know what kills me? I look at these games and I see all the work that it takes to make them. And this is why I say this all the time. If you're gonna do something, do it well. And I don't mean be perfect. It's impossible, really. You've got to embrace your imperfections, and what it is learn to roll with your imperfections, your failures. You're going to stumble, you're going to trip. It's not only how you recover, but it's how do you perform after you trip up, after you fail. That's what matters, okay? So for instance, we're talking about storytelling here. Let's say you write, you know, you're doing great. You're making a great story. You know, you did great. Right. Let's say with our random Greek story that we're making here. Let's say, okay, great start to a story. We're locked in, great pacing. You're not telling too much. You're not telling too little. It's just a great start to a story. Let's say you just have one bad dialogue line, which a bunch of autists out there will sit there and be like, there's this one really bad dialogue line. Yeah, as if you don't have those in your own life, you freaking cuck. But there was this one really bad dialogue line. It just turned me off to the movie, right? I hate sand. Of course, it's rough. It gets everywhere. Okay. Rest of the film's pretty good. What, that's it? You're gonna criticize that one line? Oh, frick. Just go end yourself, literally. I mean, you're gonna sit there and be autistically upset about, oh, that one line. Whatever, man. Whatever. So anyway. But it's just, you have these freaking people, and they, okay, just forget that. It's just stupid whenever, you do have people who sit there, and they try to act like, you gotta be perfect, and okay, then you go do it. You go make Star Wars, oh, that's right. Oh, that's right, you accomplish nothing. You accomplish nothing with your life. Yeah, okay, yeah, keep on, I don't care about those people, I don't care, like, just go ahead, go prove me wrong, I don't care. Anyways, in reality, perfection is not the target, it is not the key. It is how you perform despite imperfection. So let's say we have a great story going and we just have a bad dialogue line, or we kind of trip up in the pacing a little bit. Let's say that happens. Sometimes it's too much of a hassle, or it ruins momentum of a story, because a story is a momentum. So let's say though it tosses up the momentum or does something to hurt. Overall, it's not reasonable to try and fix it. Okay, it's just a part of the story, or you're performing in some other way, whatever it is. Let's say you have a little hiccup though, you have a little trip up. What matters not is how you necessarily like correct that, or how you perfect the mess up or whatever. It's how you continue to perform despite the screw up, whatever it is. So just imagine Lionel Messi with a soccer ball, just dribbling it across a freaking soccer field, and he just has a sudden little trip up. It doesn't matter that he takes a couple steps back, like, oh frick, you know, I'm a freaking ballerina on the freaking soccer field, but I had a little trip up there. Let me take a couple of steps back and let me retry that. No, it's okay, a little trip up, keep going. And how do you recover? Not only recover, but how do you continue performing and excelling despite a trip up or a minute or even a major failure? Even if he fell down and he tumbles on the ground, how does he just spring right back up on his feet and he continues with the ball? And then there's these two dudes, they run up on Lionel and they're trying to freaking take the soccer ball, and they just freaking dances around them still. So it's like, that's even cooler. You screwed up here, and then you had not only a massive recovery, but you just kept on performing and you just kept on focusing on the target. And that's what you need to do. So again, when you're making something, it matters so much that it's not just whether or not, again, never aim for perfection, aim for consistent function. That's what you must do. And you have to make sure that despite how you trip up or maybe fail, whatever it is, you have to make sure that you maintain momentum. That's what matters most in anything. Perfection, not momentum utmost. Momentous consistency. I think I want to say it that way. I don't think I want to say it as consistent momentum. I think momentous consistency matters most. We don't have that here. I don't feel any momentum, and quite frankly, it's just, this is a dud to experience so far.
I found you. Is Tracker with you?
Tracker? No. She was arrested. Snatched by Morath's guards.
What? When?
When the Wraiths attacked the caravan. During the chaos. They came for me too, but I escaped.
Morath let me leave the camp to search for her.
Then he wanted you dead.
I will go back. Learn what he has done with Tracker.
Your life will surely be at risk, my friend.
I am concerned only for her. Be safe, Grieve.
Too much dialogue. Too much dialogue. Oh my gosh. Frick. There's no substance. It's just a bunch of talking. Frick. Jeez, man. I don't care about this chick. I don't care about, oh, I'm only concerned for her. I don't care that you're only concerned for her. Oh, thank God a female's on the freaking staff. Yeah, a freaking female soldier, brave and beautiful.
It is the captain I wish to speak to.
You're alive. Pity you didn't find your mentor. That traitor is gone. I'm told you found... Where did you get that gauntlet? Give it to me. It can't be. But it is. I want it. Seize the unnamed. Take them to the pit.
That's an Asian man with blonde hair? How many of those are there, bro?
Please.
What?
I've done nothing wrong.
You really have no idea what this relic is.
It called to me.
You, the pathetic unnamed. Impossible. Guards, it is mine now. I will harness its power. You will die.
Please. No.
Your tracker was hoping for emancipation. But you finding this has condemned your kind to slavery forevermore. What? What's happening?
You ain't gonna get my ring, Golem. My name is Frodo Baggins. You ain't gonna have my ring, so... She, man.
Captain Mara, he recognized you. He was afraid of you. He wanted you dead.
Oh my gosh, this feels homosexual. Oh, but that's what I was saying earlier.
Do not worry.
That's what I was saying though. If you're gonna do something, do it well. Again, right? Not perfect, but do it well. You need to do it well. You need to make sure, you know, if you're gonna aim, don't freaking miss. And here we are. I mean, we're missing the entire target. Again, you don't have to hit the bullseye, but freaking A, we're missing the entire target here. What are we doing?
Do not worry. I can protect you.
Yeah, what's up?
My sand skin will leave them crystallized, but it will not last long.
What the? Hitbox.
I can't believe we survived.
We should make for that opening.
Yo.
Wait, whoa,
This game reminds me of Armored Core.
Who are you?
I do not know, Gauntlet Bearer. But my powers...
Armored Core, that never got a sequel, as I know. Which is weird because the ending to that game seemed like it was begging for a sequel. This game is so weird. It's like a mixture of lazy game design. Like, this is one of those games where I have to mention the textures are terrible, right? It doesn't matter if you have good graphics if you have terrible textures. And it seems like this is one of those games that's leaning on lighting kind of seems like it's lighting that's really depending on. I mean, it's a similar issue with Suicide Squad, but the textures are terrible. There's other games that don't have issues with textures. There's actually quite a few, but there's a good number that have issues with textures. Just really lazy textures. So it's like, you know, what good are these graphics when things just look like a polished ugly, you know? It just doesn't really look that good. Oh my gosh, you're telling me about that? Bro, hasn't that... I've experienced that already plenty of times, right? Yeah. Why are you telling me about that? That's just... that's unnecessary. You have to remind yourself, you are not obligated to enjoy a game. You are not obligated. If you don't enjoy it, there is no excuse to sit here. I mean, unless I'm being paid. If I were being freaking... given freaking like shill money, I'd be like, all right, fine, you know, it seems all right, it's a decent game, I guess. Sure, I can say that.
At last, we're out.
That thing, it is from my world.
The Watcher.
It sees us.
How? Why do you have to, oh my gosh, freaking Fleemus. Get out of here. Wow, what a tough warrior. I totally believe it. Golly, they're really making sure they show freaking diversity. I really take your freaking fighting force seriously, guy. I take it so serious. Captain Morath. More like freaking Morcock.
Captain, the Watcher! It's the Queen!
My queen!
What's happening?
Go, now, quickly! Faster! Faster!
He's becoming a liberal. He's seething in real time. What? Why continue? Just...
What's happening?
We must flee.
So fast!
Okay.
This is... breathtaking.
I like how I literally made my own character, and I don't see their freaking face in this game. Jeez Louise. Wait, is it on rails? I mean, pretty much. It doesn't matter. I don't need to aim myself. It pretty much, oh my, it aims it for you. Oh my gosh. Come on, man. Oh wow, this is so tense. Well, come on. What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh my gosh.
I was going to die.
The Watcher.
Bro, it's just directing me for me.
We must make
I would have to screw it up myself.
It seems you are sort of
Wow, I'm not touching it.
the power that
It's just doing it on its own. Bro, come on. Acting like I'm in the driver's seat. Come on now.
memory returns.
What a freaking joke. What a joke.
To the Knights of Bastengard.
So I'm going Naruto in here.
There are myths told of them. They will know what I am. What I
Uh-oh. I'm escaping the Watcher.
We must go to them.
I'm escaping the Watcher.
lies elsewhere.
I'm escaping the Watcher.
But let us talk.
I'm escaping the Watcher. Yeah, there we go. Yep. Good job, game. You're correcting. You're making it. Wow. Whoa. God. Yo, game, you're freaking loud. You're freaking loud, dude. Jeez. Or I guess it's the music. Maybe not the voices. Like usual. Wow. That took forever, game. But good job. You're getting there. Wow, we are escaping the Watcher. We are escaping him. Some random freaking triangle in the sky. We're escaping. God, this is freaking soulless dog crap. Like all this freaking. Wow, we actually lost. Like all this freaking stuff. I mean, it's like Immortals of Avium and all these freaking games, bro. It's soulless horse crap. Oh, that was. Oh my gosh. Shit. Bro, clown entertainment, clown media. Literally. Frickin' A.
Numb. Your dexterity is impressive, Gauntlet Bearer. We should be.
Thank God we outran the frickin' Watcher.
Queen. What does she want with you?
His phallus. She needs it. She needs it. Desperately. She just needs to grab it. Stick it within herself. For a long time. That's why she needs him.
Surely just a myth.
That whole bag is so dry. No man will dare. And this is the only cuck that will make a dare. Well, actually, you know, he regrettably does it. So, and quite frankly, he doesn't fight back when she makes him do it. So, that's why she wants him.
What's this? The gauntlet reacts to it.
It calls me.
What does it do? I can raise. Okay, what? My erection? Where is it?
We can unearth it.
What? Unearth? How?
Again, trust me.
Oh.
Whoa.
I'm not even holding it. Okay.
That feeling. Like sand pouring through me.
That metal object.
That's strange.
Was broken. But there must be others. Such power to unearth what is beneath the sand should prove useful.
Oh yeah, man. I've been picking this stuff up. Oh she. For real. Oh, you going down, son?
Object. It is powerful. It is an essence stone.
So we have gotten to a point with gaming where you really have to ask yourself the question, why waste my time with this? Literally, that's where we've gotten to.
Go. Keep the momentum flowing.
Ah.
You feel it. The stone responds to momentum. The momentum will fade when we stop attacking wraiths. I sense another essence stone nearby. In that open chest.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I'm hating this.
This one's different.
I hate this.
It is more.
Oh no. Come at me, bro. Try me now. Uh-huh.
Now, unleash its powers. I sense a draft. We are near the surface. I sense
Loading
people
screen.
Close by. Many people. A settlement.
It might be Castrum 7. The caravan relay.
Yes. It is not too far up ahead. Wait. There is another metal object ahead. An anvil, yes. Maybe I can remember more about the knights.
What?
Oh my gosh, it's a homosexual.
Corporeality. I am here. You can see me.
Niall. That is you.
Yes. This anvil rooted in these ancient sands allows me to project myself, but not move. Curious.
I am eternally grateful to you, Niall. I could not have escaped Captain
Yo,
Morris'
let's speed it up, bro. Let's speed it up. Speed it up. Speed it up. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Your freaking moonlight dinner. I don't care. Homosexuals.
That settlement nearby, though.
There are true. This anvil. It has brought me another memory. We should now be able to leap through the air.
I couldn't. No, that's not your memory. Not even you can do it.
Propel.
I tried. Oh, I tried in that freaking tutorial, and it did not happen, Niall. Oh my gosh, it's like it's Warframe. Alright. See you later. Find a piece to stabilize the gauntlets. Okay. Let's do that. Ah, frick, son. Ah, shoot. Alright. Alright, matey. I understand. Understandable. Oh my oof. My goof. Kabam!
A chasm too wide to merely jump across, but for you, barely an obstacle at all.
Brave and beautiful. It's so brave. It's so beautiful. Oh my gosh, this game, man.
What's going on? Niall! Whoa, whoa, whoa! No! No!
Yep, that's what happens when you have too much of that freaking soy latte, man.
Oh, come on. Come on.
See, man, what you trying to do?
You're alive.
You trying to touch me? See, man, you wildin', brother. That's not okay. Get away from me, man.
What?
Yeah, that's right. Back off. Back off for it. Right now. Right now, back off. Shit, man.
Injured? I'm fine.
That was quite a show. A blinding light, a rush of air. There you were.
What are you doing out here?
I am just a humble traveler. My name is Arif, at your service.
You were trying to steal this gauntlet.
Nonsense. A relic of such renown would be...
So you know...
Well...
You know about the...
Then you are at the right...
Where?
Behind me.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. If you need to rest... It's rudimentary. Let's meet at the village later. I'll see you around.
My senses tell me not to trust.
The path to Basting.
Have you, and even
Yet.
you still...
Too much
Yes,
talking.
if
Too
you
much talking.
can't prevent-
There's too much talking.
I sense
Just stop.
a powerful piece
Stop it.
nearby.
It's not
You can
interesting.
start with that
It's not interesting, game. I don't care what they have to say. Golly. You know, give your character something to freaking say, man. Instead of just blah, 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 blah. Jeez Louise. Like, it's not advancing the plot. It's not changing anyone's mind about anything. They're just saying things. Things of no consequence. Things with no substance. Stop. Just freaking dudes talking and that's it. What the F? Oh dear God, this game is really rough. This is really rough. Oh, thank God I can fast travel. We just got it. We can, oh my God, that's so great. Oh my gosh, I would love to travel this entire map. It's so interesting. Wow. Shoot, man, I just want to teleport all over the place right now. It's so funny that every game and its mother, this game is not, it's like every game and its mother is basically a Souls-like. It's really weird how so many games just copy Souls-like formula. And then you have The Witcher 3. There's barely any games trying to be The Witcher 3. And that was a successful game. It's just so weird. I mean, I guess, what, is it more work? Is it easier to make a Souls-like? Maybe. Maybe it's an easier way to make a linear game, which means it doesn't take as much work. I don't know. I mean, you look at a game like this, and it's an empty sandbox. Overwhelmingly, so what's the purpose? And that's with a lot of games. Bro, I could not finish the freaking Elden Ring DLC. You have no idea. I could not do it. And honestly, I don't know if I'm ever finishing it because I hated it. It was genuinely awful. Man, that DLC, I hated it. Anyway, we're done here. I'm not playing this game anymore. We've gotten our freaking... We felt it out. Let's save. Frick. No. Not enjoying it at all. Wow, that was crazy. So, alright, we experienced that. We are going to be switching to a different game, but I pretty much shared everything I think about this game. I'm not impressed. I'm not happy with this game. You know, it just feels like a waste of time. It feels homosexual. It feels like Pandora or whatever the frick that Blue People movie was. Whatever. So, yeah, it's not doing it for me, bro.